Hi, Cartez Ross here at TshirtRiches.com. Today, briefly, we're going to talk about the top 3 ways to print quality t-shirts for your t-shirt business. There are really only 3 ways, really. We're talking about screen printing, heat transfers, and we're also talking about, the direct to garment printer, also known as DTG. So we're going to talk about the pros and cons. We still get a lot of questions from people trying to figure out which is the best method to use to get started with the business. And in this case here, we're going to talk about which one also provides the better quality print as well. But number one, screen printing at the end of the day provides the best quality print compared to printing your own shirts from your own home printer. Is better than the DTG or direct to garment printing. Screen printing is better than plaster saw transfers. It's the number one preferred method, has the best quality shirt. Now, one reason why people want to determine whether or not they want to go the screen printing route is because in many cases they want to buy the equipment and they want to do it themselves. And for startups, I don't recommend you go that route until you can first establish that you already have a working business model, because the equipment is expensive to buy. We're talking anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 to get all the equipment that you need. And in most cases, you're not going to be able to run this outfit out of your home, which is going to require you to go out and get a retail or office warehouse setup. So which requires rent, power, electricity, water. And, unless you already proven that, and this is for those that want to go out there and start their own t-shirt line. Now, if you're looking at making shirts locally for local business owners and perhaps getting on the internet and doing customized shirts, then that's a different type of model. But for those of you looking to start your own line, I don't recommend going out buying this equipment because it's expensive and the learning curve is enormous. This is not something you're going to learn over the course of a weekend. There's a lot to this process. I've actually included a video below here that you can watch so that you can see the actual process that screen printers go through. And the time has been sped up, but in many cases, this is a process that goes over the course of an entire day, 24 hours, because we're talking about time for stuff to dry, exposure time. And again, this is not a situation where you're able to do this out of your home, because depending on the place where you live, they won't allow you to do this out of your house because of the chemicals and the inks that will be going into the sewage system, and they don't want that. So, but at the end of the day, screen printing will provide the best quality print for your shirt. And for those of you that are just getting started and you have some ideas or some t-shirt design ideas that you want to get made, I would actually recommend you go ahead and get those designs made through a local screen printer. It may cost you a little bit more money up front just to get that initial run of shirts, but your goal is not to make a profit off of those shirts that you're trying to get made up. This is just so that you can have an initial batch of t-shirts in hand, because once you get the shirts in hand, you can now go out and get photographs of those shirts made with people wearing them so that you can put them on your website or create a catalog. You can also show other people what you have. You can show them to send out samples to retail stores to try and get your shirts put in the stores. You can put these photographs on Facebook and Twitter and hopefully get the word spread around. So it's more important just to get the shirt made. So don't necessarily focus on how cheap you can get it done right off. Our goal here is just to get some shirts made so that you can start to have some type of proof of concept, show that you can make money and that there's a market or some type of demand for what you have. But at the end of the day, screen printing will provide you the best quality print for the shirt. Now, the next best quality right after screen printing are what are called plaster saw heat transfers, and also known as screen printed transfers. Now, I want to make the distinction. This is not the same type of transfers that you go to your local hobby store, such as Hobby Lobby or Michael's, and pick up those transfers and you bring them home and run them through your printer. Totally different process. Those type of transfers that you buy from the hobby store or Walmart, those are not good. The quality is pretty bad. From the time you put them onto a shirt and put them in the washing machine for the first time, the inks will start to spill off right away. After the first wash, they'll start to crack, they'll start to peel, and it's not going to be a good experience for the end user, your customer, who most likely will never ever buy from you again. So I don't recommend that process at all. But with plastisol heat transfers or screen printed transfers, the key word here being plastisol. When you go through the screen printing process, what they use here are plastisol inks. So with plastisol heat transfers, you're actually getting, when you have your designs made, they're actually going to put the plastisol inks onto this special release paper. And I got a picture here. And when you look at this here, this is, I'm going to play this video. What you see here is a plastisol transfer. So somebody had a design made, they had it put onto this paper. The screen printers, instead of screen printing onto a shirt, they put it onto this paper. And with the heat transfer method, we have a heat press machine here, and we're going to clamp it down. And the machine is essentially going to exert a lot of pressure onto the shirt and the transfer that you see here. And the heat press itself is heated up to 385 degrees. So we have extreme heat and extreme amount of pressure being applied to both the shirt and the transfer. And what happens here, we're going to peel this plastisol transfer, the screen printed transfer away, and the inks, the plastisol inks, same kind of inks used by screen printers, have been left behind onto the t-shirt. So you can only use this paper once. So your designs are printed onto all this paper. They send you this paper in the mail from the screen printing office, and you get a screen print quality shirt. And yes, you can use this on light colored shirts, dark colored shirts. And as you can see here, there's no outlines left behind on the shirts. The only thing that is left behind are the inks from the design itself. And as you can see, the colors are bright, they're clear, and that, my friend, are what's called plastisol heat transfers. This is going to be the next best thing to getting screen print quality shirts. The inks don't fade, they don't peel off, they don't crack, they don't break away. They will last you for years, many years to come. So this would be the best alternative to get started. All you would need to do is purchase a heat press machine, get your designs made get your designs put onto the paper by a screen printer, and there are different companies that do this for you. The next common question we get asked about is the direct to garment printer. This method is a very expensive method, and really these are only used for people that are doing small orders. You would never want to use this machine to do large orders. So if you have 100 shirts that need to be done, it's just not cost effective to run 100 shirts to get a good price. I mean, you're paying for the inks and stuff, but this is good for those people that only need 2 or 3 shirts made, 5 shirts made, and you can charge them a pretty good chunk of money since they are small orders. But again, in terms of quality, this plastisol heat transfers will actually produce a better quality shirt than the direct to garment. Screen printing will give a better quality print than the direct to garment. So this is actually third on the list in terms of which one will offer you the best quality. So, and the other bad thing about this is that they even buy a decent direct to garment printer, you're looking at, in this case here, 20 grand. For a decent machine, you're looking at about $10,000, and the maintenance and upkeep on this thing is quite expensive. You're worrying about inks clogging up the system. You're going to be buying replacement parts. Just keeping this stuff clean is a headache, just based on the reviews and feedback that I hear other people talk about as it relates to this. I mean, before I spend 20 grand on this, I mean, I would probably go into the screen printing business. get the equipment and learn all that stuff, or hire somebody who knows what's going on. This just doesn't make sense. Now, if you already have a successful model that's working, then I can see you buying this. But buying this from day one because you wake up and decide you want to be in the t-shirt business, this is a bad investment. This just doesn't make sense. But again, if you have a model where it makes sense because you already have a model that's working and you're making money and you want to add this on because you're getting a steady flow of people coming in saying they want these one-off shirts made, then that's a different story. But those are the top three methods. You have screen printing. This is going to give you the ultimate best quality print. Now, again, the costs are in my opinion, cost for screen printing is not that bad. One of the things that you can do to keep your costs down is buy your own shirts wholesale and don't buy the wholesale shirts from the screen printer. So that'll save you some money because the screen printer would typically mark those shirts up. So when you bring your own shirts to them, that's going to save you some money. But another thing, keep your colors, the number of colors down. Now, if you're going less colors equals less cost. And the other thing, if you're going to a screen printer and you're talking about you only need 5 shirts made, of course, they're going to be expensive. And they should be expensive. It doesn't make sense for them to set up all that equipment and go through that entire process just to make 5 or 10 shirts. Doesn't make sense. So, but this provides the best quality. I would recommend that for those of you who want to do your own shirts, have a little bit more control at home or in your office, because you can literally do this right off the kitchen table. The Plaster saw heat transfer method is the preferred and recommended method because of the cost. You can get these machines ranging anywhere from $1,200 on up to about $2,000. You can find them used as well. You can find some used ones on Craigslist and eBay for a few $100s as well. But this thing here, I'd stay away from it unless you already have a model. So just a few tips. The main thing to having some success in this business is you just really need to make the decision to go ahead and get started. That's really it. You just have to make the decision to get started in the business. So even if you only have just say, for example, 1 or 2 or 3 designs, start there. There's nothing that says you need 35 or 40 or 50 designs to get started. If you go to any given website or any company that are selling shirts online, there's only going to be a small percentage of the shirts. So for example, if you have a site that sells 12 shirts, there's probably only 2 or 3 of those shirts out of that 12 that's probably bringing in 75-80% of the revenue, which means you don't need a whole bunch because there's only going to be a small selection that's bringing you in the revenue anyway. And, so the key is just get started. You don't need 50 designs. Start out with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 and test the waters. I see so many people coming to this thing with all these designs, and they spend months and 12 months and then nothing happens. They do nothing. They don't even get the first shirt marketed it or put up on the internet. They just go through this process because they spend so much time just getting ready. Just get out there and get started right away. I do recommend going through a screen printer initially. I understand a heat press machine, a couple of $1,000 is a lot of money. So once you have your design ideas made up, then take the artwork and let a screen printer go ahead and run off some shirts for you. That way you're not having to come out of your pocket a few $1,000s to get the heat press machine and more money spent on getting the transfers done. Let's prove your model works. Let's prove your idea works before you invest it in all this equipment. So you don't need a heat press to get started. Yes, you'll spend a little bit more money with a screen printer, but your goal here is not to make a profit off of those. Your goal is to get these shirts in hand so that you can get them printed up, so you can show them to people, get photographs of them, put them on your website, share them on social media, make catalogs so you can send out to potential boutique or retail stores, etc. That's your goal. Once you start getting some traction and now you see that your model works, then go ahead and invest the money in the heat press machine at that time. So there's a lot to this business, folks. I've been down this road and this journey many times. I've been selling shirts since 1999. We've moved millions of t-shirts all over the world. People in different countries and places I didn't know exist, in countries I can't even pronounce. But, experience is going to be the most difficult, painful, and most costliest way to learn. When you have to learn this on your own, that's experience, learning through your own trial and error. It's going to cost you more to learn that way. We put together a great program called Protege 300 where we'll walk you through this entire process. I'm about to launch a new Christian t-shirt line of shirts, and we're starting from scratch. So we're going to document everything. You'll get access to every checklist, everything we're going to document, and we're going to video record everything we do, down from us incorporating our business online. We'll show you how we're doing that, getting our federal tax ID number, getting our sales tax ID number for the new business. We'll be writing up a quick business plan, marketing plan. We'll be building out a website, and you'll be able to watch and follow along. You'll see us search for marketing and advertising opportunities to get exposure for our shirts. We'll write up press releases to try and get written up in newspapers and different publications so that the world can be notified about the coming of our new t-shirt line. We're going to be doing a whole lot of stuff, and we're going to be documenting it. And you'll be able to watch over our shoulder as we release and go through each different thing each week as we move forward with our new business. So as we're going through the process, we'll be recording it and we'll be sending it to you. And essentially, the goal here is for you just to kind of watch and actually follow along and go ahead and get it done. In fact, what I will most likely do when we do this first round of shirts, to get our first round of shirts made, I'm going to go through a local screen printer. Again, I'm just going to assume that some of you don't have a heat press machine, and this is going to prove that you don't need a heat press machine to get started. Just go ahead and pay the few dollars to get it done, screen printed, and that's going to save you a few $1,000s on buying a bunch of equipment up front. You don't need a heat press. Depending on how high you got your shirts marked up and the profit margin, you'll never have to press a shirt. You might just decide, hey, I'm going to deal with screen printers and just order me some inventory. Now that my model is working, I'll use the money and the revenues to keep an inventory. So I don't want you to get stuck on the idea that the heat press, you have to have a heat press to get started in this business. You do not. The key is that you just get started. But, so we're going to be building this new company out from scratch. So you get access to suppliers, wholesalers, everything that you need really to get this business up and going. And as a bonus, we're actually going to give you a website. My web designer will build out an e-commerce enabled website for you so that you can put your designs on the website and start selling your shirts. So once a person buys the shirt from your website, a couple of days later, the money will hit in your checking account because it's going to be charged directly on your website. So check out our program at www.TshirtRiches.com/Protege 300, just like you see here on the screen, TshirtRiches.com/Protege 300, and get signed up for this program, folks. We're just opening it back up. It's going to close down soon. Once we get to, so many people into the program, we're going to shut it down. And, man, trust me, I've been down this road. We've been helping people since 2007 start and launch their own t-shirt business, and we can help you all do the same thing as well. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have questions, feel free to leave your comments below and let us know what we need to do to get you into the program, and we're here to help. Thanks for watching. I'm Carter Ross with TshirtRiches.com.